Rubber stops. Rubber stops are used to regulate the working length. The stops must be easily applied and easily movable. The stop must be seated 90 degrees to the long axis of the instrument. It should not be tilted. If the stop is positioned obliquely, the instrument's working length can vary by as much as 2 mm. 0.5 mm error in working length can cause a failure in endodontic treatment. The stops must be directional. Recapitulation. The recapitulation term introduced by Schilder. Right? Term used by Schilder. Recapitulation means a sequential re-entry or recapture of that portion of the root canal system that has been previously engaged during a preparation. Thus, that is, the sequential re-entry or recapture of that portion of the root canal system that has been previously engaged during a preparation. Recapitulation, regardless of the methodology used, recapitulation should be done. Sequence and frequency is dependent on the complexity of the anatomy of each root canal system. The sequence and frequency is dependent of the complexity of the anatomy of each root canal system. Using previously used smaller instruments than the currently employed frees the root canal of the accumulating dentinal shavings. Recapitulation. In recapitulation, using previously used smaller instruments than the currently employed frees the root canal of the accumulating dentinal shavings. It ensures the continuously tapering shape. Preparation techniques. History. Preparation techniques. History. Let's talk about the history. Engel in 1961 proposed standardized instrumentation, and Clem Wien Schilder in 1969 to 1974 introduced step back serial preparation. Above Ras in 1980s mentioned about anti-curvature filing. Marshall in 1918 introduced crown down pressureless technique. Goring in 1982 introduced about step down technique. That is, step down means crown down technique. Fava in 1983 or 1992 told about double flare with modifications. And Roani in 1985 balanced force technique. Thorabinzad in 1994 mentioned about passive step back, and Sikwi-Ra in 2002 mentioned alternate rotary motion. Standardized single length technique. Negotiation of fine canals is initiated with fine files. Negotiation of fine canals is initiated with the fine files. These are advanced to the working length worked until a next larger instrument may be used. These fine files are advanced to the working length worked until a next larger instrument may be used. The final shape is predicted by the last used instrument, that is master apical file. A single matching gutta percha point may then be used for root canal filling. A single matching gutta percha point may then be used for root canal filling. This concept suffers from two factors of variation. First, canals, those with curvatures shaped with the standardized technique, end up wider than the instrument size. Second, production quality is insufficient both for instruments and for gutta percha cones, leading to size variations. See examples. The for single length technique are Pro-Draper, MTWO and Night rotary instruments. Color code, number, diameter. Pink number is 6. The number is 6. Diameter at tip is 0.06 mm at 16 mm, that is D2. D2 is 6. The diameter is 0.38. Diameter is 0.38. And color code gray number is 8. Number 8 at the tip diameter is 0.08 mm. At 16 mm it is 0.40 mm. Purple number is 10. Diameter tip is 0.110. At 16 mm it is 0.42. And color code white, the number is 15. At diameter tip is 0.15. At 16 mm it is 0.47 mm. And color code yellow, number is 20. Diameter tip 0.20 mm. At 16 mm it is 0.52 mm. And color code red, number is 25. Diameter tip 0.25 mm. And diameter at 16 mm. Diameter at 16 mm is 0.57 mm. And color code blue, number is 30. Diameter tip is 0.30 mm. Diameter at 16 mm it is 0.62 mm. Color code it is green, number is 35. Diameter at tip is 0.35 mm. Diameter at 16 mm it is 0.67 mm. Now color code black, number 40. Diameter at tip is 0.40 mm. Diameter at 16 mm is 0.72 mm. Step back, telescopic or flare or serial root canal preparation technique. Stepwise reduction of working length for stepwise reduction of working length for larger files, typically in 1 or 0.5 mm steps, resulting in layered shapes with 0.05 and 0.110 taper respectively. Schilder suggested a serial preparation that included enlarging to a file size number 30 or 35 and then serially reducing working length for the following instruments: Kofai and Brilliant described a serial procedure that entailed the use of a number 35 file to working length, stepwise reduction of working length for subsequent files up to size number 60, and then the use of GG drills numbers 20 and 3 into the canal. Superior debridement with serial preparation compared to standardized shapes. Mulane, the step back technique, as particularly effective in fine canals. He divided the step back preparation into two phases. Phase 1. He divided the step back preparation into two phases. Phase 1 is the apical preparation, starting at the apical constriction. You can see in the picture in phase 1 apical preparation, right? 20 mm, 20 mm, 20 mm, 20 mm, 10 file, 15 file, 20 file, 25 file in the apical one, the apical third. First 10 file you use, then 15 file, then followed by 10 file, then again 20 file, again 15 file, again use 20 file, again use 20 file. You can see the figure for 10 file, no other file. Working length I think 20 mm. In phase 2, recapitulation is done with the smaller size file which is immediately next to it. Phase 2 is the preparation of the remainder of the canal, gradually stepping back while increasing the instrument size. Phase 1 is the preparation of the apical third, right? And phase 2 is the preparation of the remainder of the canal, gradually stepping back while increasing the instrument size. You can see in the phase 2 figure, phase 2 25, 30, 25, 30, recapitulation with 25 file, then 35, recapitulation with 25 file, then again 40, recapitulation with 25 file. This is the phase 2. The completion of the preparation is the refining phase 2A. The completion of the preparation is the refining phase 2A and 2B to produce the continuing taper from the apex to the cervical. To start phase 1 instrumentation, the canal should have been explored with a fine instrument. The working length established, lubricate master apical phase, and with the working length established, the lubricate master apical size. Lubricate master apical file size has to be used to full working length. Repeat till master apical file as number 30K file as minimum. recapitulate with what file? Initial binding file, that is 10 or 15 whatever used. In phase 2, place next file in the series. Place the rubber stopper at 1 short of the working length. Insert 1 short of the working length. Insert with watch winding motion. Insert with watch winding motion. Do circumferential filing. Remove it. Irrigate. Recapitulate with number 10 file. Repeat this with successively larger files at the rate of 1 short from every last used file. Mid-canal and coronal part are prepared with larger number. It has been recommended to end this step back phase at size number 60 or when the instrument has reached the wider straight portion of the root canal, or when the instrument has reached the wider straight portion of the root canal. The most coronal canal portion may then be carefully flared with GG drills or headstrom files. The refining phase is a return to the master apical file with push-pull stroke, smoothing all around the walls to perfect the taper from the apical constriction to the cervical canal orifice. To perfect the taper from the apical constriction to the cervical canal orifice. Advantages with this technique is better tactile awareness, less chances of periapical trauma. Third one is the development of apical stop. Apical stop prevents overfilling of root canal. The apical stop prevents overfilling of root canal. And fourth one is greater condensation pressure can be exerted, which often fills lateral canals with the sealer. Disadvantages: apical extrusion of the debris through the apex. Working length likely to change as canal curvatures are eliminated. Working length likely to change as canal curvatures are eliminated.